Welcome to history. Lore. Legacy. And this is World War I month to month, where we will cover the entire time period 1 month at a time. The story begins in July 1914, when the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo set off the most catastrophic diplomatic collapse in modern European history. In just 5 weeks, Europe went from uneasy peace to global war. Germany issued what is known as the blank check on July 5th and 6th, promising Austria-Hungary unconditional support in its actions against Serbia. This meant Vienna had the power to decide the fate of Europe. Austria-Hungary delivered its ultimatum to Serbia on July 23rd. It was deliberately designed to be unacceptable, demanding Austrian officials take part in Serbian investigations and control education in Serbia. No sovereign nation could accept such terms. Serbia responded with remarkable restraint, accepting nearly all of the demands but refusing to surrender its sovereignty. Austria rejected the response and declared war on July 28th. By then, Europe was already sliding toward disaster. Diplomatic efforts failed one by one. Britain's Foreign Secretary Edward Grey tried to call for mediation and conferences, but Germany and Austria ignored them. Even when Tsar Nicholas suggested submitting the dispute to the Hague Tribunal, it was brushed aside. Meanwhile, the machinery of war was grinding forward. Austria partially mobilized on July 25th, and Russia soon followed with its own partial mobilization. On July 30th, Russia ordered general mobilization, summoning 1.3 million men. Germany reacted with the Schlieffen Plan. Their entire military strategy depended on striking France quickly before Russia could fully mobilize. Over 11,000 trains carried German soldiers toward the Western Front. Diplomacy was now powerless against railway timetables. In Britain, a naval exercise at Spithead suddenly became war readiness. The Royal Navy was secretly moved to Scapa Flow, preparing for what was about to come. Military leaders across Europe were pushing harder than their politicians to go to war. Nationalism in the Balkans fanned the flames. The Black Hand, a Serbian secret organization, had provided training and weapons to the assassins in Sarajevo. Though not officially sanctioned, its influence was undeniable. Serbia itself was unprepared for war, short on rifles and artillery, but could not surrender its independence. Across Europe, populations reacted with uncertainty. Anti-war demonstrations actually outnumbered pro-war rallies at first. Socialist parties organized protests in Berlin, Paris, and London. But once war was declared, censorship and propaganda quickly shifted public opinion toward patriotic duty. The crisis also unleashed the first global financial collapse. Stock markets from London to New York to Berlin closed their doors. Gold vanished from circulation, emergency currency was issued, and trade ground to a halt. Economic panic came even before the first shots were fired. France's leaders were caught abroad during the crucial week, meeting in St. Petersburg. There, they reassured Russia that France would stand by its ally no matter the cost. When they returned to Paris, French troops were ordered to step back from the German frontier to avoid being seen as aggressors. But war was already certain. In Russia, Tsar Nicholas struggled between his desire for peace and his duty to Serbia. His ministers told him partial mobilization was impossible, and he reluctantly signed the order for full mobilization. From that moment, there was no turning back. By the end of July, Europe had entered a cascade toward world war. Germany's commitment to Austria removed all flexibility. Military mobilization timetables left no room for delay. Alliances bound one country after another into the coming conflict. Mediation had failed, and domestic politics tied leaders' hands. The month of July 1914 became one of history's most consequential failures. Diplomacy collapsed, economies cracked under panic, and nationalist passions boiled over. What might have been a regional war became a global catastrophe. The July crisis was not just the cause of World War I. It marked the collapse of the old European order. It was the end of the long 19th century and the beginning of the brutal 20th, an age of total war and ideological struggle. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're ready for our next video to continue World War I month to month.